Think we're online.
Okey doke. Good.
Yes.
All right. It's the 2nd of March, 2025. And here we are with the online teaching for March. And we have Stephanie from the Yucca Valley in Southern California and Janine from Santa Cruz on the coast of California, Mirabai from upstate New York near Rochester, New York, Jenny from Durango, Colorado, and me, Sharon, from just north of San Francisco. And I asked all these women to come today, and also Nadia's in the background helping, Peggy's with her helping, and Phyllis also. I asked us all to come together today for the purpose of really supporting everyone, and especially the people who are in Net of Light groups and who run Net of Light groups, because the times we're living in now are really the ultimate rough times. And we're being assailed by all kinds of upheaval, change, fear, anger, all of the unsavory uh, emotions that we as humans experience are rife now. They're just rolling in waves and waves of them. And we are called by the grandmothers to connect at all times with the net of light and through the net of light and be supported and supportive to everyone. In other words, we're called to stand steady in the midst of all this roaring drama. We can do that because we're not alone. We're connected. Our hearts are at one with one another, at one with the net of light and with the divine. And to emphasize this, I'm asking Mirabai to lead us in the net of light meditation now as we set the template of our intention to do the highest good today in our gathering.
Invite you to settle into this now moment on the planet and feel your body anchor in.
Mirabai, can you speak a little louder, please?
Sure. We are anchoring in the net of light, holding at this time when everything around us appears to be fracturing off in frenetic energy. And as we anchor in to the net of light, we feel that beautiful, beautiful yin energy, and we find a place on the net that is ours, that has our imprint, and we settle there and we hold. And we etherically hold hands with everyone else on the net, drawing in this beautiful energy that blankets the earth as we move through these times. We call in and bless the ancestors, our successors, the gods and goddesses, and all of the devas, all the guides who support us as we hold and expand this energy through the earth, out to the cosmos, blessing and holding everything that lives. Men, women, children, all the animals, all the plants, all of the minerals, the mycelium network that is its own net of light underground. And we ask that each being receive what they most need in this now moment, settling and calming and loving. We ask that the leaders of this world make rightful choices as they move forward, as they act in this world. May they imbibe yin energy as they meet and they talk. And may the people who are connecting each of these dots, each of these beautiful, beautiful sparkles in the net of light, this grassroots sparkling energy is rising up and connecting, because we know who we are as sovereign beings in this beautiful earth. May we all step forward, hand in hand, heart in heart, as we hold the net of light for now and forever. So be it.
May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, Mirabai. It's beautiful. And when we ask, may all the beings, or may everyone in all the worlds be happy, we're asking for ourselves too. As we are blessed, everyone is blessed. As everyone is blessed, we are blessed. So this is the time the grandmothers told us was coming. When they first came, they said the times of change that are coming. And then maybe 10 or 12 years ago, they started saying the times of change that are upon you now. And we know what that means now. We have never lived in this kind of turmoil before. So much fear, so much greed, so much anger, all of it, all of it, all of it. So our job, the grandmothers have said to us, your job is to love no matter what. And that means to love and to be loved, to feel how much you are loved, how much I am loved. Not just the giving out of love, that is part of it, but the receiving that love as well. And to help others do that too. So everybody here today is running groups of varying kinds, helping others hold steady. You're all teachers, really, teachers of the light. So I wanted you to come together. So in our sharing, we might come up with things that are important, not just for ourselves, but for anybody who's going to watch this video. So I'd like to ask you, in the work you're doing with anchoring the net of light, in the work you're doing with living the message of the grandmothers, living the message of the divine, what's helping you hold steady and what's challenging you as you do this work, so that we can learn from each other. So I'd just like to throw this whole thing open to whatever you want to share that's going on now.
Start. When I was introduced to the grandmothers in 2019, I was already involved in some very important work for me. And the grandmothers and the work that we do with them was something that kind of filled all the cracks in the holes for me, because it's something that I can access every second of every single day and ask them for help or do a prayer or whatever. And what I've found over the years is that what's very important for me is to be very aware of what I'm focusing on. Where is my attention going? And what am I giving out? And what am I taking in? I learned that giving and receiving are the same. So if I want to receive the positive and the light and the love and the joy that I want to live, I need to be giving that out. That has to be what I focus on. And it's very easy to fall into the news cycles or the negativity or the criticism that is going on in all of our avenues of communication, social media, television, and the news we listen to. It's very important for me not to get dragged into that. I need to know what's going on. I need to know the headlines. But I don't want my being to be pulled into and scattered amongst all of things that are going on. And the grandmothers help me focus and remember. And I've given them permission to work with me and through me, even when I'm not aware of what they're doing. So one thing I learned a long time ago is whomever we're working with on whatever level, the etheric or the physical, they need our permission in order to be a part of our lives. So I've given them carte blanche and asked them also to remind me consciously when I'm being thrown off our game that we're here to play.
Steph, what do you do practically? What practical steps do you, I hear what you're saying. I'm with you 100%. What do you do in a practical way to kind of guard yourself and keep yourself aligned with the truth?
I have a morning practice. I go out and feed my creatures and put the water out, and then I sit for 5 to 30 minutes in nature or move around and concentrate on that connection, on sending and casting the net and reinforcing that connection that I have with the grandmothers. That's a daily practice.
Thank you.
And sounding, for me, sounding is important. If I find myself, again, thrown off my game, is to use the sacred sounds of creation or a song or something to bring me back to my center.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Are any of you encountering any difficulties with people in your groups, helping them get back to center, helping them stay steady?
I will say that this teaching is very timely because just yesterday I became aware of one of our group members who is really struggling with everything that is going on. This is not someone that I have spoken to myself. And so I thought, oh my gosh, of course, if this is happening, within our groups, I can only imagine what's happening in the exterior world. And the person who shared this with me has been working with this person. So we have that safety net of light within, and yet still, as we're saying, we find ourselves, I speak for myself, I find myself being pulled out of that orbit and then needing to get back in. And one of the tangible things that I have done, I've gotten to the point where I can do it automatically. And I learned this trick, oh, I don't know, last year, is to take Post-it notes and write on the Post-it notes, what are you thinking right now? And put them on your mirror and in your bedroom and on your dresser and on your closet. So when you see these notes, oh, what am I thinking right now? And it stops it. So that I found that to be so incredibly helpful. It's a very mundane, tangible thing that we can do.
Ah, interesting. Good.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I want to do that.
Mhm. What are you thinking right now?
Yes, indeed, indeed. So let's say you're running a meeting and you were sharing something and somebody's got caught in the, monkey mind and is, oh, I can't stand this person and how do I, live? What do you do? How do you help that person come home? Because if it hasn't happened, it will happen.
Can I ask this question before anybody answers your question, Sharon?
Oh, do you think we should let her? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, are you sure? Okay.
Yeah. We'll come back to this one.
I mean, it's along the same lines, right? So I'm thinking about if somebody new contacts us and wants to join one of our existing meetings, what can they expect to find? Like I'm like thinking McDonald's, wherever I go in the USA, I'm going to get this very similar, right? So I'm thinking we're across the entire globe now. What am I going to find when I go? Like I'm scared. How are we creating safety and comfort and connection in our groups? What are the things that we can expect that's going to happen in the groups because the grandmothers have said these are the important things? Because I think that the grandmothers are very wise, go figure, and I think they've given us some tools to use to help with people who come to the group, whether they're already a person who's belonged to the grandmother's group before or is new, and they are in terror.
In terror of what?
They're afraid that World War III is going to happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. They've got the global horrors that everybody's got. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ask a good question, and I think every one of us can respond to it. And I think you can respond to it, and I'm sure you are responding to it as well. What is it that happens in these meetings that is helpful for people who are afraid at this time of life? What happens in these meetings to help them? That's what I'm hearing you ask. And I can say that my experience, I still have a meeting every month at my home. There's great love in this meeting and a feeling of enfoldment. Everybody who comes, if they bring their husband, if they bring their neighbor, if they bring their son or their kid on drugs or whatever, everybody is enfolded in the atmosphere, in the way we talk, in the singing, in the meditation with the net of light, and in passing on the grandmother's empowerment so that each person can feel enfolded in that steady, powerful love. So I will respond with that, but I'd like the others here to respond to Janine's question. And then we're going to ask you to respond too, Janine. Yeah, Jen.
I'll go next, and I apologize. My connection, everything's choppy, so I hope I'm being seen and heard anyway. But one of the things that we typically do is we remind folks of the Yin principles, but the ancestral declaration, we read that every time, and that has so much power, and it talks of forgiveness. It just really sets me into that good place of, yes, these are the important things that are my values and that we live out. But I agree. It's basically it's like we have such a bond that they know that they can relax and be safe and be loved, and all of our concerns will be put into the cauldron of love for healing and living, being the radiant beings that we are, living that's what folks who come to our meetings can be assured of.
Great. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Anybody want to add anything? Stephanie?
If someone in my group is spiraling, one of the first things that I would suggest to them is to breathe. Breathe deeply a number of times and center into their own heart to get them out of the outside, to come back into themselves and anchor there. And if they can do that, then we can start talking about how the grandmothers are handling things. They've never asked us to take care of everything in the world. They said, what you can't handle, give it to us and we'll take care of it. And try to remind them of that. I think that's very powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. Mirabai?
We create a safe container by just welcoming in the grandmothers, and so people feel very safe. We slow down in our communication, and yes, we have had people who have spiraled off or started crying. And one of the things that we do, and I think this is a lot of us do this, is when someone has an emotional response, we make it very clear that to allow that person this space to cry without touching them, patting them in the back, handing them a tissue, and that gives them that space to process what they need to process. Usually, if someone does start to spiral off with emotional excitement around something, we all just kind of hunker in. Like I know the grandmothers do this, we all just kind of hunker in and sit, and we allow for that to just kind of take place. Now, like Stephanie said, we will invite them to take a deep breath because it could easily go off way out of orbit. But just being able to hold that and then invite them to, okay, take a deep breath for a moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Mirabai. Janine, do you have anything you want to add? This was such a good question.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for answering. I really appreciate it. I do want to say, in case you haven't been at a grandmother meeting before, that the Yin principles are about how the communication structure kind of in the meeting. And it is about going within and seeing what's alive in your heart and what the grandmothers have for you, and really connecting with your inner divine and sharing from that space. And it's made possible by the fact that we can feel safe to just speak what's alive for us, like you said, Mirabai, without comment, without feedback, without crosstalk, without advice. We have this moment to be safe and held and true and authentic. And that's a beautiful place to be. And I'm very, very blessed to be a part of the Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness work. And I'm really blessed with having really 3 wonderful co-facilitators. And I'm going to call out one of them in particular, Hildy from Belgium. We always do the ancestral declaration in every Ho'opono. And we always, no matter if the people have been there every single time before, we always review the yin principles. And the total love and safety and security that Hildy gets out of those 7 principles when she shares them sets a tone for that meeting that everybody can feel and experience. And it just makes it such a loving, grounded, safe space. I am forever grateful for meeting Hildy. I would really love someday if she could come to the United States and be in one of our group gatherings. No, everybody who meets her feels the same way. And sometimes I just hear Hildy's voice when I'm struggling. Yeah. And I think we all need a lot of grace right now. We need grace for ourselves and grace for others. And the Ho'oponopono really allows me to have that, the forgiveness work. And I do the forgiveness work for the leaders in the United States. And sometimes I can see them when they were children.
Oh, thank you, Janine. That was so very beautiful. What we offer here at Net of Light, we offer freely. There is no charge for any of these things that we have mentioned. We've been doing this work now for some of us, almost 30 years. So it's gone on a long time. There are generations of us now doing this work. The grandmothers showed up for the first time in September of 1966. And then it's been a ride ever since then. Yes, that long. and it goes on, and it's going on now. And when they first came, they would talk about in the future times that are coming, you will need all these lessons. So pay attention. So I did, and wrote everything down that I could and put them into books. So there's 4 books now, and I'm working on the 5th one because the teachings never stop coming. And they're all about how to live now during what is now. These times have changed. When we're in the thick of them, the transitional period, as we move from the old patriarchal systems that we've been locked into for several thousand years into a new way of being that we don't even know, for sure what that's going to be. Certainly not for sure. We don't even have a hint of what that's going to be, except they tell us it's going to be heart-centered and will have much more to do with the energy of yin, the energy of the feminine principle of creation. And the energy of yin will be in harmony with the energy of yang. The masculine and the feminine will be in harmonic relationship with each other. That's where we're going. And we are sort of like midwives for this time, helping to birth this new way of living. And so we've been called and asked and directed how to do this midwifery, how to do this anchoring of light at this time. And so as we come together at these online teachings, we share as much as possible the latest thing that we're being told. And right now, we are being shown, everybody's aware of the great upheaval. And when there is this kind of riotous upheaval, there is a need for a rudder. There must be a rudder to hold steady through the storms of life so that we don't just capsize and lose all life force. No, the grandmothers have promised, they have come to instill harmony and balance back to the earth, and that they will do it with our help or without our help. But if we want the joy of being part of this, join in, come with us and work. So I'm putting that out to you now. If you're not already part of this work, and if it resonates with you, get in touch with us. We will support you. We have gatherings. We have groups all over the world now. Again, we don't charge for anything except when we have a large gathering somewhere we have to pay the venue. So there will be a gathering in Northern California in June. There will be a gathering in Holland in August. There will be, there's a gathering in Switzerland coming up between then. I forget, Switzerland, I think is maybe July. Then there's another gathering in near Rochester, near Mirabai in upstate New York in September. And I'm probably forgetting, and there's some in Germany. And we have online gatherings going on all the time. Many of them are international. Some of them have language groups. We try to take care of the different language needs. We have these online teachings every month. Janine talked about the Ho'oponopono, which is the great forgiveness work from the Hawaiian kahunas that does so much good. And that is ongoing. I believe it's weekly. Is that correct, Janine? Yes. Okay. So we are here to offer, to give, to serve. And if you feel that desire to be part of this, get in touch with us. We will be there for you. We also have a group called the Light Weavers who work with people who are suffering, who are transitioning out of life, who are going through maybe an operation, some trauma in their life, some difficulty. The Light Weavers are on it 24/7. So you are most welcome to this work. Everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, Mirabai, and Janine, Stephanie, Jenny. Thank you, Nadia, Peggy, Phyllis. Thanks to every one of you, and may you be happy. Really, really.